Today on Business Success in 6 with Stacie, I have Scott Cathcart here from Dockside Deli in Port Washington, Wisconsin. Scott, thanks for jumping on with me.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. With your permission, I would love to ask you some questions about Dockside Deli and really your extensive history with the restaurant industry. Is that okay?
For sure.
All right, here we go. When people ask you what Dockside Deli does, how do you describe your business?
Just for the initial, I describe it as a breakfast and lunch spot. We're right on the water in the marina in Port Washington. We're a scratch kitchen, which means we make all our sauces, we roast all our own meats, dressings, everything we make in-house with the exception of our bread and ice cream that we get from Chocolate Shop.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, I know you have a long history in the restaurant industry. What were your plans when you started your business and how have things changed?
When I took over Dockside, that was back in 2018, right at the end of December. I was coming off of running 2 restaurants simultaneously for a different restaurant group, and this opportunity was presented to me. So I jumped on it. I thought it was a better fit for my life, having children and, getting up there in age into close to my 50s. So I've been at it pretty aggressively. So it was something to bring me back, to my family and be able to spend a little bit more time with them and not have the late nights of being a high-end chef and having to be at work until 11 o'clock at night and do it all over the next day. So having 2 restaurants to run at the same time, and also you're making somebody else money and not as much yourself. So it was a good opportunity for me to own my own business and see if I wanted to continue on this path or have the opportunity to do something else.
Sure, absolutely. Congratulations on taking that risk in 2018. I'm hoping it is paying off. So what is the biggest way you impact the community? I know you have this beautiful community, beautiful space in Port Washington. How are you impacting that?
I think we impact it by still carrying on the name of Dockside Deli. There's a lot of history with the restaurant. I'm the third owner. So I didn't want to change the menu too much. We kept a lot of the staple sandwiches. Really what I did was just kind of revamp everything inside the restaurant and kind of give it more of a culinary feel with some of the preparations on things, and doing all the roasting of our turkeys and roast beef and corned beef and things like that, instead of just buying them and bringing them in like that. And that's not a bad thing, but I have the culinary ability to do that, so we added that on there, really with not saying it to anybody, but just changing it and having people see the difference in a store-bought product and then a fresh product that's made in-house. So that was kind of like the mindset that I've had, and I've slowly made some tweaks here and there to the menu, without changing things too much and giving people shock. I didn't want to, people in Port Washington, it's a small community, and if you start shaking up the jar too much, could end up backfiring on you. So I really wanted to get my roots in here. I do a lot of things with the community, a lot of with the high school and promotions and, and helping out wherever we can, with some of the, what's
Like
the word?
fundraising?
Yeah, fundraisers and some of the communal things that are around when we can help out with gift cards and things like that for raffles. We do that.
That's wonderful. Yeah, Port Washington definitely is a tight-knit community. So it's great that you're able to bring your background, having gone to culinary school, but also do it in a way that people are still going to be okay with it, right?
Right, right.
What is one challenge that you have faced that other business owners could learn from?
Mm. Here in, well, I guess it kind of goes back to that one thing that we were talking about, and in the community and not really trying to change too much with something that was already working. And I think people have kind of a sense of ownership of this place in some ways because
Mhm.
they've been coming here for so long. I didn't want to disrupt that.
Mhm.
Obviously, everybody wants to put their own stamp on everything, but I think you got to pull back and look at the terrain before you go ahead and start changing everything. So for the first 2 years, I didn't change the menu at all. I did after what we changed about about close to 2 years ago, we added some things onto the menu and extended it, pulled some of the things off that weren't selling as well as they should be, and opened up some other avenues for new items. So that has worked well. Another huge thing that we do here is we always have 3 fresh soups every single day. So
Mm.
during the winter, I probably make like close to 30 gallons of soup in a week. So it goes fast.
Wow, I bet it does. Well, thank you for sharing that, all those different things with our viewers about just challenges. Because if something is working, yeah, you don't necessarily want to change everything, but you have to be aware of that train, like you said. So very good advice.
Sure. And if you're gonna go and change, if I was gonna change the name of the restaurant, just scrap everything and start up my own thing, then that would have been one thing. That would have been one avenue to go down. But I think you have to look at what Wisconsin is and what this restaurant is to the community. And I thought that would have been a huge mistake. I had other people tell me to do that, but I had to go with my gut.
Very smart. Very smart. What does the future look like to you? And do you have an exit plan?
Um, future here. No, I don't have any tentative plans on leaving for Dockside Deli at the moment. We're still growing the business, and after every other restaurant out there, along with myself, having to bounce back from COVID was a huge setback, and that happened to me, a year and a half into me owning this place. So that was a huge challenge. But yeah, I don't have an exit plan per se. I would like to be retired by the time I'm, in my 60s, but we'll see what happens. I've always been a person that likes to stay active, so I think it would be hard just to sit on the sidelines.
Sure.
Um, but I don't know. I have to cross that bridge when I come to it. I mean, I'm only 52, so
And you've got kids, so right,
yeah.
we got to keep working. So my final question for you today, Scott, is all subjects open. What inspires you most?
Inspires me most is using different ingredients and learning how things work and how this works with that and pairing things together and finding out how food is gonna what combinations of food is going to generate the best flavor profile. So that has always been a thing for me. I mean, I've been cooking since I was very young. Food has always been in my life. I've been in the restaurant business for 37 years, so it's a it's a constant. It's the same as a person that's like an artist and they paint. It's like, or somebody that picks up a guitar and then can play guitar. Like, I'm not saying it was effortless for me to cook, but it just made sense to me.
Mm.
There's that quote from that in Good Will Hunting. He goes, when Mozart or Bach or whatever pianist he used, he's like, when I look at a piano, I see, wood and keys. When he sees it, it's something that he can play immediately. Like it makes sense to him. And that's
Wow.
how food was for me. It made sense to me from very young. And I was always in the kitchen with my mom, and her thing was, it's like, I don't care if you don't like it, you got to try it. You got to
Totally.
you got to put it in your mouth and try it. And if you don't like it, then don't like it. But you have to try it before you say you don't like it. So that's something also with my kids that I do as well. And before you turn your nose up at something, give it a shot. And that kind
Love
of
that.
goes with anything else, right?
Absolutely. Be open to it. That's beautiful and inspiring. Well, thank you for nourishing our community with the tasty foods. Now, if somebody wants to try your soups or sandwiches, what's the best way for them to figure out how to get there and what's going on?
Best way to get a look at the restaurant is to go onto our website, and that'll have our specials for the day. We have a different special every single day. Like yesterday, I made gyro meat to make gyros. So we don't buy the meat already made. I made it myself, and then all the sauces, the tzatziki for it, and we did a red onion and bell pepper like relish for it as well. And so that was our special yesterday. And so everything is made for that specific day. Today we were on Fridays we always have a fish special. So today we have salmon BLT. So it's a blackened salmon BLT actually, but yeah, and then that has a caper and herb aioli with it, bacon, lettuce, tomato, mixed greens, that kind of thing on a toasted bun. So best way to get a hold of us is go on our website for catering or to check out the soups for the day or the sandwich specials. The whole entire menu is there. And if you need to get a hold of somebody immediately, you could always get a hold of us via email or just call the deli.
Awesome.
We're all very accessible.
Thank you so much for your time. Can't wait to get in there and enjoy your amazing food and happy spring.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Scott.